Thanks to all the subscribers. Please like, subscribe, and comment. With that out of the way, let's get into it. The body of the victim was discovered early January 19th, 2020. Dispatchers received a call at 1:39 a.m. that day about a body lying on the side of I-295 near the Pennsylvania Turnpike. State troopers arrived and found the body of a man later identified as Joshua McCray, 31, of Trenton, New Jersey. An autopsy determined McCray had been shot 5 times, and his death was ruled a homicide. McCray's night took a tragic turn, resulting in his death, but where and how did he go wrong? Unfortunately, he did not watch the company he keeps, and he drunkenly said the wrong thing to the right person. Robert Snoop Christie, 37, a self-professed triple OG 9 Trey Gangster, testified on his own behalf, telling the jury he killed McCray in self-defense. But would his self-defense claim hold up under the scrutiny of an aggressive Pennsylvania prosecutor? Christie was charged along with 2 other Trenton men. The 2 men became cooperating witnesses. So what exactly happened that night? The investigation found that McCray, Christie, and the 2 other men went to Murphy's Beef and Ale in Bristol Township on the night of January 18th, 2020. The men had been drinking. On the drive home, McCray, the victim, was sitting in the back seat of his sport utility vehicle. He was running his mouth and made a drunken comment. That comment did not go over well with Christie. He took the comment as disrespectful. Christie was sitting in the front passenger seat with McCray directly behind him. Christie turned around and repeatedly shot McCray, the driver, then pulls the SUV to the shoulder of the interstate, and Christie jumps out of the vehicle and races over to McCray's side, drags him out of the SUV and dumps him on the side of the highway in Bristol Township. And in his anger and rage, he attempted to shoot McCray again while he was outside the SUV, but the gun was empty. Robert Snoop Christie was on trial for first-degree murder, flight to avoid apprehension, hindering apprehension, possession of an instrument of crime, and abuse of a corpse. Unfortunately for Christie, he was unsuccessful in his self-defense claim. His intent could not be more clear if he showed up wearing a black hooded robe and a sickle. Reese said in his closing arguments, his intent was to kill. A jury convicted Christie following a week-long trial prosecuted by District Attorney Christopher W. Reese, who described Christie as a man of violence who has made crime his business. During the sentencing hearing, relatives of McCray told Judge Bateman Jr. about the impact his murder has had on their lives. The mother of 2 of McCray's children read impact statements written by herself and 2 of McCray's daughters. One of the daughters described his murder as a nightmare that became reality. Fighting through tears, McCray's sister said she was angry and heartbroken that her brother will not be around for his children, and thanked the investigators on the case. After hearing from the family, Bateman sentenced Christie to life in prison, followed by a consecutive sentence of 12 to 60 months. Life in prison sounds like the end, but Christie's life of crime started long before his life sentence. Christie was indicted along with other gang members in connection with a series of crimes that occurred in 2005 when violence erupted between the Gangster Killer Bloods and 2 rival blood sets, leaving 3 people dead, including 22-year-old Shari Voorhees, who was caught in crossfire while out on her porch. Also indicted was Bernard Green, 29, aka P.D. Black, a 5-star general in the Gangster Killer Bloods, or G-Shine set, who allegedly directed the gang's activities, including drug trafficking and violence involving assault rifles and semi-automatic handguns, which were used to defend gang turf and settle scores with rival gangs. Christie was charged in the indictment with aggravated assault for allegedly firing shots at the home of a Gangster Killer Bloods member on August 28, 2005, and making terroristic threats to Green in response to the killing of a 9 Trey gangster, Kareem Washington. In pleading guilty, Christie admitted that while in prison serving his current sentence on drug and weapons offenses, he owned a .45 caliber handgun, which he kept in his home. Christie admitted that he exercised dominion and control over the gun and had the ability to direct others to take possession of it and transport it. Christie pleaded guilty on June 20th, 2011 to an accusation charging him with possession of a gun as a convicted felon. He was sentenced by a Superior Court judge in Trenton to an additional 5 years in state prison without possibility of parole, to be served consecutively to an 8-year prison sentence he was already serving for unrelated narcotics and weapons offenses. Robert Snoop Christie is currently at SCI Houtsdale in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, serving a life sentence. And as always, although there are convictions in this matter, I must stress that an indictment is not evidence of guilt. Charges are only allegations, and each defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Blessings. Luke 17:3-4. If your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him.